It's that time when we hear what you have to say on the various issues we put out there on social media. And Aisha joins me again. Hi, Aisha.
Hello, Araba. Good to see you again. And you know, every Friday, it's a good Friday for us. Now, on your most interactive segment, it's simple to participate. All you need, your smartphone, tablet, iPad, and all the social media gadgets to enjoy this big conversation. Catch us on facebook.com/joynewsontv. On Twitter, it's at joynewsontv. And on WhatsApp, the number is 0560-800,000. Do not call, but send your name and location when sending that message. All right, so let's get started. Imani Ghana has described many of the campaign promises of political parties as empty and without substance. This came up in a survey which subjected 218 promises of the political parties to a critical assessment to find out if the policies were measurable and attainable. The think tank described the opposition New Patriotic Party's campaign promise of establishing one factory per district and the Convention People's Party's ambitious plan to plant 1.2 million almond trees, among other promises of other political parties, as overly ambitious and not entirely quantifiable. So we ask a simple question. What do you make of campaign promises made by political parties, and do you think they are feasible?
Papa Kwesi, I think he will win because of his messages. Because he's a businessman, he have money, so he can take care of the system.
What is there is, they have been saying a whole lot of things which we don't even see anything. So for me, I don't really bother to, to even vote or to even buy what they are saying. Yeah, because we are sick and tired of, all those things that they have been saying to us.
I give 50-50 to all of them. 50-50. So it will take a rare message, not by just promises, but a rare message of what the citizens are going through. The rare message of the day-to-day life of the citizens.
I think most of the parties are trying to play to the gallery. And to be sincere with you, some of the promises that they make are to the extreme. Most of them, I don't think they are realistic. And I also believe that they say some of these things to win votes. But what I also believe that now Ghanaians are more discerning. So Ghanaians will use their discretion to vote whoever is supposed to. But I, for one, don't buy into the campaign promises and the campaign messages and all that.
I know that the opposition leaders, they have done some years back, they promise, they deliver. So I know that by all means, when they give them chance, they can perform.
No, I believe minds are already made up. For instance, if a government comes into power, right from the start up to the time of the next election, people assess them and find out how best they've done or how worst they've done. As again, maybe a previous government or a new party with its new manifesto. So out of these three, people are able to make their minds. Whatever campaigns they carry out will not actually affect the decision of anybody who has already made up the mind.
All right, so those were some messages or comments from the streets of Accra. Let's see some of the messages coming on Facebook. Araba will help us read
Indeed,
them.
a lot of messages coming in. Anthony Agbile says, in my view, the promises these political parties make are not worth the paper they are written on. They have absolutely no intention of keeping them, and we have wised up to this fact. It just so happens that we don't have much choice. If we will face the truth, we will acknowledge the fact that the two major parties are equally worthless. Anthony, I think that's a little harsh, some of their promises they've delivered on. It's Sadiq says, God save us. JM promised 200 senior high schools, but he can't even boast of 50, and they are still saying JM twice. So we will no more vote based on promises, but rather on competence. Prince Nuruddin Balmia says, I strongly believe the NPP campaign promises, and inshallah they will surely fulfill their promises. they voted into power. Dennis Edu says wise men are finding ways to make things happen. Others, on the other hand, are busy finding baseless reasons to discredit all efforts. I guess Imani would question the quantifiability of man traveling to Jupiter. That's a bit harsh. That's from Dennis Edu. Efum Kwesi Emmanuel says, in 2012, the same Imani said free SHS was not achievable, but President Mahama turned back now and said it is achievable. Imani has to change their ways of doing things. And Dabo Na Abdul Wahab says they should go and do their research again. I know and believe that Nana Addo will be able to implement his one district, one factory policy. And one last one. Alale Tahiru Jr. says, I debunk Imani's Ghana surveys. One district, one factory is real. And
on WhatsApp, Prince says Imani is well on point. The promises are empty and mostly unrealistic. I only will side with Pakwesi Indum for his track record in the private sector. The rest, yeah, not. And it's coming from Prince. This is coming from, you didn't add your name. He says, I agree with those who think that no campaign message can move them to vote, because looking at the promises and feel of President Mahama and Dumso. I don't quite get you the import of your message. This is coming from Beriba Kwabaji from Jenny. He says, Ghanaians obviously didn't need Imani to tell them Akufo-Addo has been making lots of empty promises, all in furtherance to his power drunkenness. No one in the NPP was able to tell anyone about the source of funding for its phantom-free SHS promise in the run-up to the 2012 election. One district, one factory is given different interpretations by people from the same NPP. Ghana will reject NPP for the third time. And that's from Berima Kwabaji from Jini. This one says, Massa politicians are making a fool out of us. They are liars, their promises are fake. And it's coming from Godwin from Santa Maria. Those were some of your messages. Now, many are those who assume it's all downhill once you attain middle age. But a new study from the University of California, San Diego School of Medicine says otherwise. The finding says the mental health of aging adults seem to consistently improve over time. But for adults in their 20s and 30s, the research uncovered high stress levels as well as signs of depression and anxiety, part of a troubling trend of rising psychological distress and mental illness rates among younger people. Mental health improvements were noted, however, when people hit their 40s, with levels of happiness growing consistently as people grew older. The research also found older people to retain fewer negative memories and are more clever at handling their emotions. They learn not to sweat out the little things. Now, question, do you agree that older people are happier than those in their 20s and 30s?
It's very dicey. I wouldn't say they are so much happier, but if they have made their life and now it's like they are on their retirement or a certain age where they are now enjoying whatever they have soon, then they look much more happier. But for those who are now struggling, they will not say that entirely they look happier. They are now still, some of them are still taking care of their younger siblings and other things. So they may not look a little bit here because the economy will stretching them left and right.
Those who are older, I think most of them are doing their own work. Most of them also have their businesses moving on for them, and they are able to afford whatever they like for them to feel happy. But then looking at those at the 20s, I think sometimes most of them are not all that mature. Most of them sneak out of the hands of their parents, go out to have fun, but then still they are not certain and they are not fulfilled.
Yeah, I think those who are younger, like in their 20s, are much happier than those of the old age, because when you are old, you can't do some stuff on your own. Like, you can't even cook, someone has to cook for you, no clubbing, no parties. But my age, I can do everything.
So a lot of responses coming here on Facebook. Solomon Nanasasu Entry says, well, this must be true because between ages 20 and 30, we are yet to determine what path to tread on in life, or are still treading on. But usually those in their old age have nothing much to worry about. Alfred Alabi says, I do agree, because between the 20 to 30 age, the young guys work hard in order to achieve their aim, but once that has been achieved, they then begin to enjoy what they have worked for. So yes, older people enjoy more than the young ones. Rashida Mayo says, I totally agree. Buying hair for 200 Ghana cedis, pizza for 100 Ghana cedis, handbag for 200 cedis, and others is not easy. Charlie, youth are bread. Demi Dare Simon says, I think this depends to a large extent on many socio-cultural, environmental, personal, and other factors, and not just the age. Apia Kubi Collins says, always thinking of how to get money. That's at age 20s to 30s. Eben Kweku Abronoma says, yes, so it's true. I guess he's agreeing with the old people, because they don't work, only waiting for us to bring home the salary. Just Adidas.
And on WhatsApp from Papa Chiku from Koforidua, he says it is true, because at age 20 and above, the expectations in life make people at that age bracket worry a lot. This is coming from Japheth from Nsawam. He says, being happy depends on your achievements and home built during your working period. Yes, old people enjoy more than the youth. Youth are brave. And that's from Japheth. And Prosper from Tamale says, between 20 to 30, that's where your thoughts are on how to make your life better. It's also when you tend to compete with others, look for greener pastures, and you start to take certain responsibilities. And that age, you tend not to rely so much on your parents. And some of the statements from your parents, such as you're no longer a child, are even stressful statements. And this is coming from, you didn't add your name. It says it's based on the individual's achievements, because just imagine a 70-year having a child in class 2. That would be wahala. And he also didn't add his name. Okay, Okito from Koforidua, he says, I agree. The stress women will make you go through, coupled with economic hardships, will make you go mad. Save Jesus Christ. Okay, that was from Okito. And Fred from Tamale says, at our younger age, we're thinking and trying hard to achieve our goals, but an old, they might have done a lot. Youth are facing thoughts and expected to achieve a lot. Nice dress, by the way. Thank you so much for your messages. A lot of the messages are coming, but we need to take our final one. What's the most important test message you're always eager and excited to receive when it's getting to the end of the month? And what is usually your reaction if it delays?
The most important text message at the end of my 30 days. I call it the Kekelic meal. The Achia Bobby meal. Say, make my salary hit my account. It be the most important one.
I'm actually expecting a good update on probably an investment I've made, and probably get a positive feedback from that investment, and that makes me very happy.
I receive messages when money is being credited into my account. That's the work that I do when I'm being credited into account. That's what really makes me happy, because I know at the end of the month, we are in getting into that period. We'll be in Hala week. We call it the Hala week. So that's where we receive the text message. We become happy, because when you go to the market, definitely you get something small to feed yourself and your family as well.
The best text message is when my bank, to be precise, Ghana Commercial Bank, tells me that your salary has been paid, because I know that I'm going to fill my stomach well and meet my needs with my money. And you not depend on anybody or looking at elsewhere.
I trade in the forex market, so anytime money hits my account and a text message is sent to me, then I feel like screaming. Yeah, I scream out because I know I've made something during the period and I'm being rewarded for it.
Oh, anyway, so lots of messages there, and you guessed right, it's all about the salary. Eben Kweku Abronoma says, it's the message that informs me my salary has been deposited into my account. That day, dear, baby, but my body turns red when it delays, A thermometer can't even measure it. Yagre says, it was when I used to receive nurses' allowance at the end of every month. But as for now, no important message again. Mashoud Abiola has a different opinion. He says a text message is a text message. It does not matter the day and hour that it counts as long as it serves its purpose. Stephen Ayeguju says, a message from controller. I always plan my budget before the end of the month. So when the message delays, it disturbs my plans. And Lloyd Bank says, it was whenever I receive MTC, and that's control number from my MAGA. When it delays, I can't think far. What's MAGA?
And do I even know what he's talking about? Prosper from Tamale.
Very quickly, Ebenezer says, yeah, a message from controller, but when it delays, you hear me say, hey, Mahama, so you don't want to pay? Are you waiting till 31st?
But 31st is actually the end of the month.
Exactly.
Now, Prosper from Tamale says, a message from the bank. Oh, I remember some time ago, just some days into the new month, my manager's message tone rang, and he quickly wrapped up what he was doing at work without checking the message and rushed to the bank. He could only, him to be the next person to be served. Then he checked the message, and it was a message from his younger sister asking for money. I'm sure it was you, Prosper. And this coming from Famous, he says, at the end of every week, I always count the days someone is calling my line. I always count the days I have spent and the achievements I have made. It's coming from Famous. And those were some of your messages. Martin, I don't go
Very
from
quick
Golga.
one. Yes, this is from Slim Oscar Jifa. He says, I get an alert. I open one eye. I browse through the message looking for controller. Sharp. I don't get alert. God win.
And Martin says, the best message is when my loan repayment hits my account. Those are some of the messages coming. Let me take this final one. The day my salary comes, that day I will pray for Doomsor to happen so that I'll buy a generator. Really? You want to spend your money to buy generators? And Wahab says, a message from DKM is the most important message. Well, now let's take our trending picture. It's of Asiedu Nketia, you know, the General Secretary of the NDC, going to Canada. Check out his pose, and that's what we're showing you tonight. Let's see. It's real. No.
What's that? What's that? What's that?
This Photoshop.
It doesn't look real, and I don't think
I really don't think
he would actually wear, especially after that episode with his wife's coat. You know, I don't think he wants to be the center of attention.
Lady's shirt or blouse is wearing inside.
No,
I think this is Photoshop.
I will stick my neck out and say that's
I definitely don't think this is Asiedu Nketia. No. This is no. I know him, and that's how we wrap up. It's a Friday. You know how we do it. Don't miss out the fun. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Good night.
Joy News Interact.